And welcome back to the 50 Shades of Blonde show. I'm Missy Day.
Jill Branson.
I have to say, I am thrilled to introduce our next guest. We have Michelle Mortensen in the studio with us. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. So glad to be here. I know we've tried to do it a couple times and schedules didn't prevail, but today's the day and we're here.
That's right.
Yes. So I have to say real quick, the first time I ever saw you was several years ago. My very first Businesswoman for Christ lunch. You were the speaker.
Okay.
And I remember you being up there and I was like, holy cow, she's a firecracker.
Yes, Steve Wynn gave me that name as well. He was like, "Who's that firecracker?" Yeah, I definitely, I throw no punches, and I tell it like it is. And whether I'm approaching at the pulpit, whether I'm on TV, or whether I'm fighting for you in politics, I am a straight shooter, and I'm all about exposing hypocrisy. I'm all about telling the truth, and I definitely tell it like it is, which is kind of refreshing because. Whether you're watching folks on TV or whether you're talking about politicians, everyone just kind of says everything in this nice little box. Right. And there's very few people who say exactly what you're thinking. I do that all the time, and for some reason, I guess, I get away with it.
Well, tell us a little bit. I'm sure, I can't imagine there's nobody that doesn't know you from 8 on Your Side, but start a little bit from there, and now update everybody what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so I was on Channel 8 here for many years, for over 6 years, running the 8 on Your Side consumer unit, basically solving people's problems. I love how everyone loves to talk about TV news, like, gosh, they're all intimately involved in it, and I know how it works. But I was an oddity in TV news because I actually functioned completely on my own. I didn't have producers, I didn't have help, and literally people called me on the 8 on Your Side hotline and were like, I have this problem, and we solved that problem, and then we put it on TV. So I wasn't given assignments, people weren't telling me what to read. Everything that you saw was me actually fighting for you. And while I was in TV, kind of in the end, I was thinking that, it was time for some changes. TV news is definitely changing. Corporate control is definitely changing things. And I knew I wanted to do something different. I always knew I wanted to go into politics. And I really felt that President Trump opened the door for someone like me because I am not rich, but I do know how to get things done. And I do know how to do television, and I do know how to communicate a message well, and that's really why he was so successful, quite honestly. And so I said, gosh, if this guy could do it, so can I. And so I jumped big. I said, I'm going to go to Congress because, even in TV, I've been in TV news for 18 years. What have I covered? Well, federal issues. Federal issues all over this country, in Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, Nevada. So I have been dealing with senators and congressmen and presidents and governors from all over the country. Federal is really where my wheelhouse is. And now more than ever, I mean, if you watch me on TV, I tell it like it is. You know that I don't mince words, and that I am very irritated by hypocrisy and corruption. I was going after frauds and scammers when I was on Channel 8. Let me tell you, the swamp is full of frauds and scammers and con men candidates who are perennial candidates, shall I say, who never get the job done, but they keep fleecing the Nevada people, saying that they're going to be about all that hope and change when they deliver nothing at all.
Right.
So if you don't like hypocrisy, you must be going crazy right now.
Every day my mind is blown. It's crazy. And what's crazy is that you see it so much, not just from the crooked political side, but you even see it in this horrible world of social media that we live in now. Like, I love social media. I think we all do. But it's become this awful echo chamber where why do people call them trolls? Well, because they literally troll people with half-truths, fake news, and they just put it out in the atmosphere, and they're hypocrites about so many things. I mean, it's so truly unfortunate. People say they hate politics, right? How many people say they hate politics? How many people say it's dirty and it's nasty and I don't like it? Can I tell you who makes it that way? We the people. Make it that way.
We vote.
Well,
the voters.
You vote, but also if you're on Twitter trolling folks and making it work and getting in the mud, we all get in the mud that way. You know what I mean? So if we really want to clean things up, you're never going to find a perfect candidate. I want to say that right now. You're never going to find a perfect candidate who you're like, man, everything they say I agree with 110%. You're always going to have differences, but it really is going to boil down to character and integrity, really, at the end of the day. And if you do what you say, and there's quite a few people who they change direction faster than the wind blows. And then there's some people who've just stayed on target the whole time. And I believe I'm one of those people.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. And if you don't want to answer, you're going to say next question. So how many would you say ballpark have that are in politics today are walking with integrity?
2%.
That's so sad to me.
Wow.
Power corrupts.
Right.
There's a reason why, I don't know if people watching are religious or not, but you know I am. I'm a pastor's wife. I'm a licensed minister. There's a reason why Jesus as a leader washed the disciples' feet. Because it's about service. But a lot of people get into power and it's all about them. I mean, if you are a perennial candidate who's already run 5 times and lost and you won't give up, is this about serving the public or is this about your own power driven? I want to be somebody. I don't want to just be daddy's child. I want my own fame. It's not about fame. And people always attack me and say, oh, Michelle, you're doing this for fame. Y'all, I was on TV in over 115 markets. I was way more famous on TV. I didn't need to get in this cesspool. I'm making no money now. I'm unemployed. I don't have a job anymore. I am running for Congress and I'm trying to shine a light on the mountain of politics and I'm trying to expose the corruption that's there. And what's sad is sometimes you think like, no, that person's going to be full of integrity, but the power has gotten to their head.
Yeah.
The power has corrupted them where it's no longer about service. It's no longer about the people. And they feel like they're almost at this entitlement point where they can tell you what to do. That you're just going to do it because of who I am. That attitude is awful. And if we, the people, want real change, you're going to have to vote for real change. That means you might have to upset the apple cart a bit. You know, they nicknamed me the disruptor a long time ago. You want to know who nicknamed me the disruptor? No, it wasn't the Democrats. It was my Republican opponents because that's how corrupt they are and how badly they want their power that they don't want anyone ever challenging them. That's sad.
And they're looking to the next election.
Everybody, thank
Yeah,
you.
they're
They're all
looking
looking
to
for the
their
next
next
election.
election.
Because if you've noticed, if there's somebody who ran for this office, and then they ran for this office, and then they ran for this office, and, well, I deserve it because I'm a state senator. Well, I deserve it because I've run for office before. That is hogwash. Last time I checked, our president had never run for office before, and he won. So to everyone who's like a little naysayer, doubter, and hater out there who's like, I don't understand why she didn't run for assembly, because I didn't have to.
So there.
There's no rules, and that's where the hypocrisy comes in.
Yeah.
It's these same exact people who say, I want someone just like Trump. I want someone who's not part of the system. I want someone who's going to do this. And then you have someone who's not part of the system, who's known for exposing corruption and getting things done, and you're like, but no one told me about that. Okay. I didn't know that you had to be informed, blessed child. But that is the political elitist attitude that we see non-stop. And if it hasn't infuriated you that there's this political elitist group that's trying to control everything you do, it should infuriate you. And it's time to rise up. It's time to expose the corruption because when you turn the light on, I tell you what, the cockroaches, they will run.
It's interesting to me because I look at your Facebook page and I go through and look at comments, sometimes. And it's always interesting to me and people are saying, oh my gosh, I loved you when you were on Your Side and all the problem solving and helping people, but I don't like you anymore.
No, because you're a Republican.
It's like, really? You're doing basically the same thing. Helping expose, right?
Well, that's because
Helping
people have become so ridiculous where, like, everyone who's a Republican is awful and horrible, and everyone who's a Democrat is awful and horrible. This is ridiculous. That's that whole, well, when you lose, we win mentality. And God forbid you ever hate someone because of their political party. Come on now. That is absolutely ridiculous. You know what else they attack? They attack my eyebrows. You know what else they attack? They don't like my hair. I'm too thin. I'm too ugly. I'm too pretty. I'm too this. That's social media for you.
Yeah.
So you know what? If they loved me on TV, but now they're super disappointed that I'm a Republican, shame on them, not shame on me.
I love your responses.
Yeah, I do too. I'm just like sitting here going, yeah.
And so what politicians talk like this? No one. And that's
No,
what it's time for someone to actually, I don't know, tell it like it is and be like a real person and quit doing this political, no, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to pivot. I mean, I'm tired of it. You're tired of it. So why vote for these same old nonsense candidates?
Well, and it's refreshing for you to just to be able to say, you speak your truth everywhere. I love that about
Right.
you. You
Thank
don't
you.
like, shut it down or put it under a lamp, I mean a rug or anything.
I'm like this everywhere. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's not sad. I
I'm
think it's
24/7
cool.
like this. Yeah.
Because I know even for me, there's sometimes when I think, oh my gosh, I'm a business owner. Do I have to keep my mouth shut? Do I have to watch what I say? You know what I mean? Why would we have to live like that?
Yeah, we shouldn't. We should tell it like it
No.
is.
Well, Michelle, man, that went fast.
Yeah,
I was so getting into this.
I know. I am so glad we made this happen, but I do want to share with everybody. We're doing a lunch with Michelle on Friday at Craft Kitchen at
Yes.
12 o'clock.
Yes.
And so we have a few seats left. So if you want to join us, contact me, 702-493-2611. How can people help you get elected?
Oh my goodness. Donations help. I mean, and if you can't donate, that's cool. I understand. We all live on a budget, right? So if that's not something you can do, that's fine. But if it's even $10, $25 once or twice, it makes a huge difference because unfortunately, I can't clean the system up that much. Money does win elections, right? Voting is important. Early voting is going to start on May 26th. That's Memorial Day weekend. It's going to go for 2 weeks. And then Election Day is June 12th. If you are a Republican, because if you're nonpartisan or a Democrat, you can't vote for me anyway. But if you're a Republican, we have to go get out the vote because we cannot let Danny Tarkanian, who already lost this in 2016, become the primary nominee again, and then we lose this House seat again because of him. This is one of 8 that have been identified in the country that can be flipped from blue to red. He's already proven he's a loser. We don't need to put him in again. If we care about the seat and we care about the future of the House, you have to vote Mortensen for Congress.
Mortensen for Congress.
Mortensen
You heard
for
it here,
Congress.
right here on 50 Shades of Blonde. Thank you, Michelle, again
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned for our next segment.